There are some faces on television that feel like home, voices that echo through time, characters that become part of our lives. Today, we say goodbye to one of those voices. Philip Lowrie, the beloved actor best known for his role as Dennis Tanner on Coronation Street, has passed away at the age of 87. It's a heartbreaking loss, not just for the world of television, but for the millions of fans who grew up watching him, who welcomed him into their living rooms, who felt like they truly knew him. Today, we're not just mourning a TV legend. We're celebrating a man whose kindness, talent, and charm left an unforgettable mark. Let's take a moment to remember the extraordinary life and career of Philip Lowrie. Early life and beginnings. Philip was born to perform. From an early age, he had a passion for storytelling, for bringing characters to life. He trained at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, honing his craft, dreaming of the stage and screen. But he never could have imagined that one role, one show, would change his life forever. In 1960, British television changed forever with the debut of Coronation Street. Among the very first residents of Weatherfield was a young, cheeky, and slightly rebellious character, Dennis Tanner. And it was Philip Lowrie who gave him his heart and soul. Dennis was a charmer, always walking the fine line between mischief and sincerity. And audiences loved him for it. Philip's portrayal was so real, so warm, that he quickly became one of the show's most beloved stars. But what truly set Philip apart wasn't just his talent. It was his humility. Co-stars remember him as a kind-hearted gentleman, always generous with his time, always ready with a joke or a word of encouragement. He never let fame change him. He was simply Philip. Career highlights and legacy on Coronation Street. Philip played Dennis Tanner for the show's first 6 years, cementing himself as one of Corey's original stars. But life took him in a different direction, and he left the cobbles in 1966. For decades, he continued acting, radio, theater, television, but the call of Weatherfield was never far away. And then, in 2011, something magical happened. After 43 years, Philip Lowrie returned to Coronation Street. Fans were stunned. Dennis Tanner was back, older, wiser, but still the same lovable rogue at heart. It was one of the greatest comebacks in soap opera history. His second stint on the show lasted for several years, reminding audiences why they fell in love with him in the first place. Final years and passing. As Philip grew older, he stepped away from the spotlight, but he never stopped being grateful for the career he had. He often spoke about how much Coronation Street meant to him, how much the fans meant to him. In his later years, he spent time with loved ones, reminiscing about the old days, occasionally giving interviews, and always carrying himself with the same warmth and grace that defined his career. Then, in April 2025, the news broke. Philip Lowrie had passed away at the age of 87. For so many of us, it felt like losing an old friend. Tributes and public reaction. The tributes poured in. His Coronation Street co-stars shared heartfelt memories, describing him as a true gentleman and one of the kindest souls you could ever meet. Fans took to social media, sharing clips of Dennis Tanner's best moments, remembering the man who made them laugh, who made them feel, who had been part of their lives for decades. One fan wrote, "Philip Lowrie was part of the heart of Coronation Street. A legend, always." Another simply said, "Thank you, Philip, for everything." The legacy of Philip Lowrie. Philip Lowrie may no longer walk the cobbles of Weatherfield, but his legacy is forever etched in television history. He was there at the very beginning, helping to shape one of the most beloved shows of all time. His work will continue to inspire generations of actors, reminding them that the best performances don't come from ego, but from heart. Even now, reruns of Coronation Street allow new fans to discover his brilliance, to fall in love with Dennis Tanner all over again. Farewell and final thoughts. Losing Philip Lowrie is like closing a cherished book, a story we never wanted to end. But in a way, it never really does. Because every time we watch an old episode, every time we hear that familiar voice, Every time we remember the joy he brought us, Philip is still here, still making us smile, still a part of our lives.